I haven't done anything yet. And even I shall, don't worry about that. And even worse, the warm-up man is delayed outside Rickmansworth. Absolutely so. I must do all possible jobs. Everybody say, we are warm.
We are warm.
Good, that's the warm-up man's job. Welcome to my final recording. Regard it, therefore, as my Abbey Road. Although it's going to turn out like my Let It Be. I can see that happening. This is all This is a low-tech auto cue. Not only am I bound to forget the words at some point, I'm equally likely to forget that I'm here at all. These are the diseases from which we suffer. Like we were supposed to pick up the guitar on the way. And thus commence with a jolly numero, but we didn't. But now we have stuck things down the hole. Now the thing with doing my Abbey Road is that when you come to play this to your grandchildren many years later, you will find that some of it has got out of date in the intervening years. And I am therefore going to avoid this by starting with a number that is already out of date. So, this is a living anachronism. I'm not entirely sure why I said that. I shall say a large number of other things, and I still won't be entirely sure why I said them. So, this is the living anachronism. Oh! You can hop on a tram in Nottingham. Nobody cares, nobody gives a damn, but hop on a tram in Edinburgh and you'll have a very long wait. You can hop on a tram in Manchester. It's the sort of transport that the Manx prefer. That's why they don't see many Manx in Edinburgh. There's an uncanny absence of trams. Oh, you can hop on a tram in Amsterdam or Rotterdam or Scotterdam. There's no such place in Holland as Scotterdam. But if there was, it would have trams. In San Francisco, they're called cable cars. In Lisbon, you can take the tram to hilltop bars. All these places have hills as steep as Edinburgh's, but the trams go up and down and that's the same. I don't want to criticise, but there's no avoiding what they haven't got in Edinburgh. They've even got in Croydon. So let's lobby Westminster. Let's meet up at the airport. Oh no, we can't. They haven't built the tram. Oh, we're not exactly supposed to be pretending to be in Edinburgh here. On the other hand, we can if we want. Scottish noises. Now that's the authentic Scottish noise. The rest was fake. No deep-fried Mars bars in here, no. This is a song I wrote for the Carpenters, who haven't had many hits recently. And I thought, well, you know, this might be something that I can reasonably offer them. Excuse me while I read where I've got to put the switch. But yes, that's all I have to say about that one. Oh, I rehearsed bits of it, but now it's all out of my head. Anyway. Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Could it be there's a space-time anomaly close to you? Why do stars fall out of the sky every time you walk by? I've been told there's a small black hole close to you. On the day that you were born, they changed the laws of physics and defined the constant pi as 4.2. Now there's 7 unexplored dimensions with their portals converging on you. That is why all the boys in town follow you all around. Quantumly, they need to be close to you. On the day of the Big Bang, all matter was created, which includes the bits that now are you and me. And according to some models, they will crunch back to a singularity, depending on the value of the cosmological constant you assume. That was cosmological constant. And when that cosmic closure comes to pass, we'll disappear up our own arse. But it's better than entropy, 'cause I'll die incredibly close to you. Sing the fade out, la 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 la, close to you. La 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 la, close to you. It's a fade out, close to you. You think there's a gag coming? No, you don't put gags in the fade out. It's a stupid place. Oh, beautifully faded. We shall do various things to do with the cosmos in the course of the evening. I was going to say, give me noises of the cosmos, but you already did. You were ahead of me. This next recitative, if that it be, is my joint tribute to Werner Heisenberg and Buddy Holly. There you go again, emitting sparks with your anti-neutrons made of anti-quarks. Well, golly gee, please don't collide with me, or I won't be matter anymore. It continues. Antimatter is the opposite of matter, so if matter matters, then antimatter doesn't matter, but if antimatter matters, then matter doesn't matter. This isn't a rap, it's an antimatter natter. This paint is matte, this paint is matter, so that paint is gloss, and that paint is antimatter. So how does it stay on the wall without exploding? There's more to paint than meets the eye. Sometimes it's hard to be a particle when all you want to do is wave. Some matter's dark matter, but I'm not a racist, so some antimatter must be dark antimatter. So if I'm not a racist on the dark matter, then I must be a racist on the dark antimatter. Anti-me hates dark antimatter coming over here, taking all our matter jobs, or at least taking all the jobs that matter. I hate myself for this matter of prejudice. I think all matter racists should be strung up, hence the phrase string theory. There may be neutrons, but there ain't no neutrals, because you've got to be on one side or the other. If you're not antimatter, then you're pro-matter. You're professional matter. You do matter for a living. This amateur matters are ruining the business. They make lousy maths. You can't get light out of a black hole. You can't get dark out of a white hole. My favourite hole is a grey hole. You still can't get out of it, but why would you want to? It's the same on the other side. Entropy. This ain't half the world it used to be. Quantum theory killed Schrodinger's cat, but Schrodinger never got blamed for that. If you've got kittens and don't want them, then try a bit of quantum and don't ever open the box. Schrodinger's cat was lazy and fat. He went into the box and that was that. Or maybe it wasn't, which is kind of the point, but he'd be dead by now anyway. If you've got some antimatter, don't put it on a platter unless it's a special antimatter platter, or else it will explode with a bang and a splatter. That's the sort of thing that ought to happen to Zepp Blatter, the corrupt fat bastard with his toady platters. He belongs in another dimension where his fee for cheatum is very worth a mention, where Blatter doesn't matter because he's mad as a hatter and bent as a 9-bob note. But if Blatter doesn't matter, then anti-Blatter matters. But you can't be anti-Blatter. He's elected on the post, so there's no such thing as an antimatter Blatter. And he's exempt from the laws of physics like the laws of everywhere else. Some fundamental particles have no mass. They're Protestant particles. Burn them at the stake. All good particles are Catholics. When you last see one eating meat on a Friday and they pass through altar boys undetected. I rest my case. Some particles, yeah. There's more to physics than meets the eye, but does it meet the eye as a wave or a particle? Let's compromise and call it a pave, because calling it a particle would sound stupid. Some particles are anti-particles, but there ain't no waves that are anti-waves, or else they'd just be flat. Hang on, I live in one of those. So maybe they exist after all. This matter wrap is running out of steam or running out of weak magnetic force. It's slowing down just like the universe, not bouncing back to a big crunch punchline. There's no energy left for that. Oh, I'm now a black dwarf, but I was a hot sun. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the second law of thermodynamics and the law won. This is a point at which I have a sip of water. And, pick up the guitar now. Yes, that's not all. What is the next one? I should have printed this rather larger. Yes. This is a 1960s protest song. Everybody say, right on.
Right on.
Oh, wow, yes, that takes me really, really back to, somewhat of it. Acoustic. So, are we all geared up for this?
Yeah.
Good, splendid. There should be fluent repartee between the songs. But it's stuck on a train outside Rickmansworth. So, well. If I had a spanner, I'd loosen nuts in the morning, I'd tighten nuts in the evening, or the other way around. Hang on, which way around is it? Let's see, metal expands as temperature rises, which makes the nuts tighter spontaneously and therefore requires them to be loose and dry. Yes, I got it right in the first place. Why on earth did I stop? If I had a spanner, I'd loosen nuts in the morning, I'd tighten nuts in the evening, all over this land. I'd loosen them at random, I'd loosen without warning, in the hope that the wheels would fall off the bloody pavement cyclists all over this land. If I had a bell, I'd put it on my bicycle. If I had a bicycle, which is about as likely as Bono becoming Pope, I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out a warning, which is why you have bells on bicycles in the first place, and I wish someone would tell the bloody pavement cyclists who come up behind you with no warning at all and frighten you to death and push you off the pavement all over this land. If I had a hammer, I'd keep it in my toolbox. until I wanted to knock in a nail to put up some picture of fluffy kittens all sucked like all over this land. Then I'd take it from my toolbox and I'd bash their fucking heads in. And even that would not deter them from riding on the pavement where they're not supposed to be. They're too arrogant or too thick to care. All over this land. All together. Fuck them in their lycra shorts. Fuck them with their stupid helmets. Fuck them with a sense of entitlement. Fuck them with a bicycle pump. Fuck them in the lycra shorts. Fuck them with the stupid helmets. Fuck them and the sense of entitlement. Fuck them with the bicycle pump. You're me.
Fuck them in the lycra shorts. Fuck them in the stupid helmets. Fuck them with the sense of entitlement. Fuck them with the bicycle pump.
All over this land. Oh, doesn't that remind you of the new Christy Minstrels? Some of it, yeah. All right, I'm doing some age-related references here. This is due to being probably the oldest person in the room, or close to it anyway. But the beautiful thing about being the oldest person in any given room is that I know I'm the only person who can remember their last shag. No. You think you can, but you can't. What you remember is your latest shag. And long may that be the case. Oh! I've got writer's block, so the next song isn't going to happen. That's a... this is a tribute to the oldest joke in the English language. Yes, you were a bit uncertain as to what noise to make there. But I think ooh is obviously the right sort of choice. And the oldest joke in the English language comes several times this evening. As if you haven't heard it before. And anticipating the next show forms a natural haiku. My dog has no nose. How does he smell? Terrible. That is a haiku. But it's only a haiku if you say that is a haiku at the end. Otherwise, it isn't. You can haikuize virtually everything now, I have discovered. I have reduced the entirety of Der Ring des Nibelungen by Richard Wagner. 18 hours of opera, fucking great orchestra, fucking great chorus in the last one, but not in the first three. And generally fucking great everything. I've reduced this entire masterwork down to a single haiku. Rheingold nicked, makes ring. Hero slays dragon, gets girl, both die, ring thrown back. Done. There's a lady who's buying a stairway. It goes on for 8 minutes. And so forth. Anyway, so this song. Did I stutter that much? Did I always stutter that much? Or am I merely trying to give myself something to be edited out of the final product? Oh, I doubt it. Tonight is Fluff City. Not in the sense you're thinking about. You don't know what we've got in the dressing room, and let's keep it that way. Anyway, no. Yes, this is this is a tribute to that song. Have I got the settings right? I have. My dog has no nose, no eyes, no teeth, no tail, no liver, no kidneys, no spleen, no pancreas. I wonder if I've even got any dog at all. My dog has no ego, no id, no super ego, no consciousness, no soul, no projection of itself into a spiritual dimension. I've got an imaginary dog, but I believe. When you believe, then the things that you believe in are true. My imaginary dog will now do a trick for you. Wasn't that amazing? My dog's got no nose. How does he smell? Probably not particularly well. In fact, you could say he smells terrible. But then you would be sharing my illusion. My dog has no evidence that he exists, apart from the universe that's said to be his. If you believe in dog, then you believe in this. But my dog has no one who really knows. He's got no nose. Only conjectures and bits of faith. My dog has faith. But there's no nose upon his faith. Almost, but not entirely, on the same theme. You're getting slow on the woos. Remember, this is going down for posterity. And if your woos are inaudible to posterity, then I do not know what will happen. I should have written something to cover that eventuality. I'm making that bit up once again. Oh! If I ever had a dog, it would be the sort of dog with brandy round its neck. And if I ever had a cat, it would be the sort of cat with brandy round its neck. If I ever had a gerbil, it would be the sort of gerbil with brandy round its neck. And if I ever had a goldfish, it would be the sort of goldfish that swum around its bowl incessantly, because there isn't any other sort of goldfish. There are no goldfish of another sort. In their little flippy handies, they can't carry too much brandy. They can't even lift a decent glass of port. There's no point in putting brandy on a goldfish. The booze would be diluted in a trice. And it's not as if they'd care. They'd forget that it was there. Don't brandy up your fish is my advice. It's hard to find the neck upon a goldfish. The barrel will be slipping off and sliding. To prevent this epic fail, you could tie it to the tail, but that would make it much less appetizing. It would be very hard to train a goldfish to rescue stranded travellers in a storm. That's not something where they're handy, it's a lousy waste of brandy. Yes, a goldfish under pressure can't perform. The amount of brandy liftable by goldfish is limited by physical constraints. They lack the muscle tone to support it on their own. Yes, a goldfish lifting brandy often faints. And if you faint, they have to give them brandy, which in definition they themselves can't lift. and it pisses you right off. It makes a loss. Where should be profit? Not so much a goldfish, more a paradigm shift. So I think that I shall not acquire a goldfish. I think I'll get a much more me-like pet. And the pet that suits me well would be a bottle of Martell, because you swim around it once and then forget what you do. You swim around it once and then forget what you do. You swim around it once and then forget, oh, there's a goldfish. You swim around it once and then forget, oh, there's a goldfish. You swim around it once and then forget. You swim around it once and then forget. You swim around it once and... Oh, I didn't know how long I could... I was going to go on much longer with that, but I did instead. I shall bring you to the serious bit. And here, in the serious bit, I would like you, please, to enact the part of a sleazy French bar at midnight. That's about 10 p.m. Now, please, add half a dozen Pernod's to that. With the tracks of your tears forming cloudiness and the otherwise clear liquid. And give me the packet of throat... Oh, yeah. And in this sleazy French bar at midnight, the chansonnier. The chansonnier, ignored by the public, step up to the microphone and sing like this. When I was 10 to the minus 34 seconds, it was a very big bang. It was a very big bang, and yet it didn't go boom. No sound in a vacuum. It just redshifted away at the speed of light, so they say, although there wasn't any they yet. You don't really know the score when you're only 10 to the minus 34. When I was 1.3 billion, I witnessed planetary formation from stellar debris aggregation and carbon-oxygen strife. And I thought, fuck, that means life. They'll shag in cricket pavilions when I was 1.3 billion. And now the days grow short. I'm 1 trillion years old. My Guinness is really extra cold, and it shivers on its shelving at 0.3 degrees Kelvin. 'Cause that's as hot as it gets. But I have no regrets. I've outlived Michael Chang and magazines called Kerrang. I was a very big bang. Yes, I believe it said mad on the tickets. Warning! Ce soir, il y a de la merde. This is me improvising again. Do not do that. I did do that once. I did a gig once, surprisingly, I know, in a sort of pseudo-French place that had the sort of ultimate combination of hope and despair. There was a notice above the bar that said, "No soup tonight. Soup again tomorrow." I thought, well, ce soir, il n'y a pas de potage, mais il y aurait du potage demain. That didn't make the set list. What did? Oh, I'm only a medium-sized hadron. They won't let me inside their collider. So they have fun colliding while I wait outside with a straw and a small tin of Tizer. There's no reason why there's a minimum height. I love to collide both by day and by night, but the large hadrons mock and they scoff. And just 'cause I'm medium, they tell me fuck off. But the medium is the message, and the message is size doesn't matter. Oh, the Large Hadron Collider is the world's best amusement park rider. Fasten your seatbelts and hold on tight. We're going to get close to the speed of light. There's a chance you will end up dead, but you will see the back of your head. Oh, the Large Hadron Collider is 5.40 miles wider. Despite this circumference, scientists reckon the hadrons make 12,000 circuits each second. But Higgs bosons are more easily found if you open your eyes and slow down. Oh, the Large Hadron Collider might just make a new black hole insider, which will suck up the planet in cosmical thirst. With one consolation, Geneva goes first. But there'll be no reception line when you're sucked where the sun does not shine. Oh, the Large Hadron Collider, when it goes up there'll be no survivor, except the small hadrons they wouldn't let in, who'll float where the earth once was with a smug grin, saying small is victorious, like Hitler, Napoleon and us. Oh, we collided on a Monday and the earth stood still. Large Hadron, run, run. Large Hadron, run. And now, sex. No actual demonstration. I'm introducing it as a topic, and having already done the last shag gag, which probably belonged there, which is where I should step into the time machine, go back and rewrite the set list and appear here in a blur. Or possibly an Oasis, I'm not sure of the difference. But that was a nice 1990s gag, wasn't it? Not bad for spontaneous. Anyway, so, oh, no, here we are. Oh, it's hard to make love stay when your pubes are steely grey. That's not one of the 50 shades that turns them on. Your attempts at being masterful are usually disasterful. By the time you've found the handcuffs, she'll have gone. Fantasies of domination may be good for masturbation, but at your age you can't often manage that. Do not act them out in practice, cause the sad and mournful fact is if you're not convincing, then you're twice the twat. In a million female boudoirs, they read grey and then get boudoir neath the duvet with their personal device. This is fantasy, not reality. It escapes them from normality. They don't want the same from you at any price. It's not you they will be thanking for this failed attempt at spanking. At the most she'll fake an ounce to be polite. But her mind is far away in the world of Christian Grey, and he's good at this. Compared to him, you're shite. If the stuff ain't in your head, stick to missionary instead. Tried and tested, and it helps the time to pass. Let her fantasise profusely. She's with you, however loosely, and the shades of grey book won't fit up her arse. Pretty much. Kind of a message to all of those who say, try something different. Another 60s song. This is where I come from. Let's face it. In the 60s I used to live in a squat, but I got cramp. Now that was a really cheap gag. I met a singer-songwriter from way back in the 60s, and I told him I was lonely and quite probably depressed. He went and took me by the hand and led me through the streets of London and said, do you still feel the same? And I said, oh fuck yes. Oh yes, I am telling you I'm lonely. I say for me the sun don't shine. And I know there's plenty worse off, 'cause I've seen them on the streets of London, and I'm sorry for their problems, but that doesn't help with mine. No matter how bad you are, there is always someone worse off. There is someone in more darkness, even when your lights are dim. At the bottom of a deep pit sits the worst off man in all the world. No one by definition gives a flying fuck for him. So yes, I am telling you I'm lonely. Loneliness and desperation aren't the same. Showing me the other bastards there upon the streets of London just means that I'm still lonely, but with added guilt and shame. Loneliness itself is not sufficient grounds for bonding, and just because I'm sitting and I'm nursing cups of tea in the all-night cafe at 11:15 doesn't mean I want to talk to people in the same boat as me. On the whole, I prefer to be lonely, but do the walk yourself, I think you'll find. There's buildings empty while men die from sleeping on the streets of London. If you don't think that's wrong, a single song won't change your mind. I think I've got over my writer's block. Oh, hang on, no, I haven't. And to prove it, I shall play next a song that I have not written, that I have striven to write, that has been hanging around the fringes of my mind for many years. Yes. Are they picking up these noises of being slightly but not very impressed on the audience ambience, Mike? Maybe they're not. This is another protest song. Oh! Please don't let the vacant shop near me become a Tesco. I write a better protest song, but nothing rhymes with Tesco. Unless you're painting on wet plaster, then you've got a fresco. But it's hard to get Tesco and fresco in the same sentence. Instead of using Tesco, I'd rather see a fresco or a play by Ionesco or some 60s football footage. Just look at that George Best go. His son is such a pesto, but not as much as Tesco, and nothing rhymes with footage. Except perhaps for footbridge. And Tesco's sometimes have those, but they don't normally sell them. They can't get them through the scanner, and they charge extra for the banner. If there was a banner on the footbridge, which there may or may not be, but if there was, you know, it would say Tesco, as you probably guessed, though. Second verse, same as the first. When every shop's a Tesco, you'll ask where did the rest go. But by that time you'll be working for them, and they don't like awkward questions. Because they're not a Questco, they'll put you under arresto. Because they'll own the police as well, and they'll lock you up with Zesto. And pesto. And olive stuffed with pimentos. And other Italian condimentos. And polos and mangoes and Cheerios and nachos and Doritos and burritos, cappuccino, oregano, and Omo, Rimto and Vinso. Just because they can. That was supposed to be Omo, Vimto and Rinso. Not the way I said it. Please edit the track in your minds. They're a vile and pernicious emporium. So let's have a Tesco moratorium. They ought to be poisoned with thorium. I don't know if that's poisonous, I haven't looked it up. Tesco spring up like Japanese knotweed. From Chatham to Berwick upon Tweed. They're the sort of parasite we do not need. And the CEO earns £4 million. Yes, I know that doesn't rhyme, but I thought you should know anyway. Please don't let the vacant shop near me become a Tesco. Or I'll emigrate to San Francisco or perhaps to Tresco. But that's only on the Scilly Islands, so I bet they've got a Tesco. A Tesco, Tresco on the Scilly Islands. That's just too silly. Please don't let the vacant shop near me become a Tesco. It violates my human rights. I'll report them to UNESCO, who can maybe stop the vacant shop near me becoming Tesco. But I don't want a Sainsbury's instead, 'cause they are cunts as well. And I'm glad I got this off my chesto. And also there are far too many estate agents. Like I said, I haven't written that one. So, but this next one requires a recitative. You basically, well, no, it's me that does the recitative. What you do is the low hum. Low hum? Oh, that's pretty perfect. Keep that going until the end of the recitative and then stop. Otherwise you'll be keeping going for a much longer time than I anticipated. And now by talking through it, I've already exhausted your hum breath. All right, stop humming. Let's do this again. Take two. Hum. What x and what y, raised to a power n and added together, yield a third number which may be expressed as z to the power n, where n is greater than 2. The answer is no x and no y. No x and no y. That's Fermat's last theorem. If you've got any whole number solutions, let's hear them. But you can't because there's no x and no y that can ever satisfy the equations of Fermat. But the proof is very complicated. You can't just write it down on a beer mat. I remember when we used to sit in the senior common room in Princeton, doing 5-dimensional Sudoku and cooking cornmeal porridge with the other hand. Not to the original. When in walks Dr. Andrew Wiles, whose face was wreathed in smug, shouting Eureka, but not looking any Greeker. We asked him what he dug up. He said, I've only fucking cracked Fermat's last theorem. I'm going to take my students down to the pub and beer them. It's better the intellectual pathways down which I've been trying to steer them. Because like all lecturers, I fucking hate students. And now I say, everything gonna be all right. Mathematicians can sleep at night. Pythagoras' theorem doesn't apply when the exponent is greater than 3. In fact, no matter how high the value of n is, so aren't you glad he cracked Fermat's last theorem instead of wasting his time playing American football, Australian rules football, Gaelic football, proper football, squash rackets, Eton fives, or what's the word I'm looking for? Tennis. I remember when we used to sit in the government yard in Trench Town, asking what are the practical applications of this shit. There is an answer to that, but this margin is too small to contain it. I should have checked for mathematicians before doing that one. This goes down a bomb at the Fields Medal Awards ceremony. I think, right. As some of you may know, I haven't been particularly well recently, and certain changes have happened in my life, which is almost a Beatles intro, but isn't. Just as well, really. And that's about all I need to say about this. Well, they told me I would die if I didn't give up the booze. That left me with a 50-50 choice. With the Mississippi Delta, they won't let you sing the blues without that vodka whiskey in your voice. Now the Delta rules do not apply in London NW5. But the ham pumped ale was top of my list of reasons to stay alive. And without my craft brewed IPA, I had to go up to the bar and say, my woman done gone left me, so give me a pint of lemonade. With an iron brew chaser, which will help me to erase her from the memories the wasted years have made. Tonight I'm gonna get roaring, keep that lemonade a-pouring. I'll fight any man who says I've had enough. 'Cause my only friend tonight is in a bottle marked white. But I'll find oblivion within that stuff. Oh, Marvin, give me another. All the world is now my brother, and that lemonade is cool and hits the spot. It erases grief and trouble. There's relief in every bubble. Oh, barman, give me all the stock you got. But don't give me that dirty look. I deny that I am hooked. And I can take 12 steps without a fall. Till I get stuck up step 7. My name's Peter, I'm a lemon. But I don't think I need any aid at all. My hound dog up and died. So give me a pint of lime and soda with a double shot of lime. For now is the time to commemorate the fidelity of Rover. If you know me, you'll know there's something odd. You'll realise I've never had a dog. It's just an excuse for the soda and lime. It's stronger and stronger every time, despite everything. I may have a problem here, but I'll drink all of the lime juice you'll sell me in the hope that the doctors will tell me that it's safer to go back to beer. What's your attitude to stadium rock? Because this tonight is our stadium. Oh, it's my stadium. You're free to wander where your mind takes you, but this is my stadium. And in my stadium, I approach with the tumultuous cheers of the tumultuous multitude. It took you 2 seconds to realise that was you. And during that 2 seconds, I felt as if the floor was disappearing beneath me. Much has happened to the late Saddam Hussein 10 years ago. It worked better at the time. Don't do this in guitar shops. There's a man who moves dust down the roads that he must, and his headgear is that of a dust man. And the trousers he wears come in gore blimey pairs, and his rental is paid to the council. In his big hobnail boots, he looks like a piece of fruit, or to be more precise, a banana. They are called daisy roots, which is rhyming slang for boots, 'cause you know sometimes songs have no meaning. Ooh, you know this bit, and it makes me wonder. Ooh, and it makes me... Years of practice. His companions call Les, and he says all the things that you find in his dustbin. A police dog inside, with an officer beside, for the law is enforced with bravado. Meanwhile, back at the van, we discover my old man, pursued by a lady with mist bins. And she shouts to him, "Wait, please don't tell me I'm too late." He invites her to jump on the vehicle. Ooh, innuendo. Ooh, matron. Ooh, Finbar Sanders. If there's a Russell in your dustbin, it's a policeman. And Russell is that PC's name, oh. If there's a film about Led Zeppelin, then it's a crap one. and it's the song remains the same old. Switch to Les Paul. I knew I was going to fuck it up. But I was right. Why do I bother? Closest you're going to get. And as your dust cloud disappears, a lady follows it in tears. She's crying out because you missed her. It could be Jimmy Page's sister, whose higer's head has gone astray. Take out your lighters about now. And it's all because my old man is a dust man. Oh, that was I knew I was going to fuck that up. And the beauty about it is you can't repair it in the studio. We are stuck with that fluff forever and ever. See, I can do it now. No, I can't. Anyway, no, this is a historical love song. Now, we need to set the scene for this historical love song, and so I would like, please, all the women in the audience. I know there are some. I've been on a recognition course. With all the passion that you can muster from your quivering bodies, to shout after 3 the single word, Heathcliff. 1, 2, 3.
Heathcliff!
Oh, a certain amount of quivering passion there, but I sense you can do better and quiver more. So let's try this again. 1, 2, 3.
Heathcliff!
Oh, much better. Men, your line is obviously Kathy. 1, 2, 3.
Kathy!
Women!
Heathcliff!
Men!
Kathy!
Women!
Heathcliff!
Men!
Kathy!
Oh, that gets me much more in the mood. Unfortunately, it's not about them at all. I promised you a historical love song, and that would not be a historical love song. That would be a love song based in the 19th century novel. Yes, and we all know what's coming now, don't we? Men, you know that terrible moment in any relationship when your soon-to-be ex-beloved, out of a clear blue sky, turns to you and says the fatal words, "Who, in your opinion, is the greatest 19th century novelist?" And with a perfectly straight face, you have to say, "Jane, or I can't do it." It's obviously Dickens. Now, this one, anyway, is a real historical love song with real historical characters in it. Adolf loved Eva. She wasn't much of a diva, but she was very good at standing by her man. If Adolf hadn't had Eva, he would have been an underachiever. they fitted like a beaver and a dam. When he'd just invaded Poland for its slotty, she'd be sure to let him take her up the botty. When he'd finished genociding for the day, she would help him to wind down with a BJ. When he was blasting London with his blitz, his V1 would be exploding on her tits. And when he was surrounding Stalingrad, he would spank her 'cause she's very, very bad. Oh, Adolf loved Eva. He saw her face and he was a believer. She was the only brown girl in his ring. Eva Brown, you see the boy? If Adolf hadn't had Eva, how could he have become the party leader? She was the German wind beneath his wing. Don't you mean wings? No, he only had one. She made a plaster cast of Adolf's phallus and inscribed upon it Deutschland über alles. In every building built by Albert Speer, she left a clipping from her pubic hair. The split-crotch panties framing her vagina were designed by I.G. Farben's best designer, who was Jewish. As he took a Polish corridor with temerity, Leni Riefenstahl would film them for posterity. Yes. Adolf loved Eva. He needed her support, he couldn't leave her. She rallied him like Nuremberg Sieg Heils. Sieg Heil! You saw nothing. He stood to attention in ways that Dr. Goebbels wouldn't mention, but only Eva mayonnaised his piles. She would naturally dress up as a French maid, just waiting for the Germans to invade. So reality and fantasy combined within the total minefield of the mind. As example to the greater German nation, his moustache was trimmed for clitoral stimulation. He would spunk her in the bunker till she'd scream, which led to the collapse of his regime. Oh, Adolf loved Eva. He killed loads of folks but never would deceive her. And who are we to say that love's in vain? Love's in vain. But when Adolf married Eva in the Berlin bunker, end of World War fever, like most married folk, they never shagged again, 'cause they were dead. Oh, I have stood up all this time. And, oh, fine. I have also been keeping fairly well to the time schedule, with a small amount of cheating, because this is the last number. And, it is a message for all of you, and a heartfelt wish from me. And there are no gags. Oh, I want geriatric sex, but not with Jerry Halliwell, nor with Jerry Springer. Neither he nor I is gay, and that is just as well, but I'd much rather shag him than Jerry Falwell. I want geriatric sex, with hugs and kisses, lots more hugs and nuzzles. With your wrinkles next to mine, they will surely intertwine and lock us into place like jigsaw puzzles. So love will keep us together, but the fire brigade will prize us apart. I want geriatric sex. It's much better sex than happens in your prime. Your partner will not lose attraction with the Alzheimer's reaction, because you'll think it's someone different every time. And so will she. And so will you. And so will she. And so will you. What are all these people doing in my living room? Oh yes, I remember. Good evening and welcome to the show.